Hi guys, it's me again, the me you don't know, still don't know, but that shouldn't matter for you to enjoy a good story. So let's get on with the show now, shall we? Alright, so last time Deku found Eri and rescued her, and he also had a fight with the overhaul guy, and Deku escaped the boat with Eri and Koda on a lifeboat headed to Florida. And Overhaul basically took over that ship they were on. Uh, he took care of all the zombies and he's basically a pirate now. That's going to be a problem later on. Whew. But, guess I should tell you guys how long it took them to get to Florida. It took them roughly 6 hours. Yeah, 'cause I said they were close, but they weren't super close, like right at the shore. It's supposed to take them a week to get there. It was only 6 days before the zombies appeared. So, yeah, they were close, but not that close. So it was midday, about 3 o'clock, when they left the ship and got on the lifeboat. So it's around like 9 p.m. now, getting pretty dark as they reach the shores of Florida. And Ari and Coda, they tried to stay awake, but they super tired, fell asleep. And Deku's just watching over them as they get to Florida. As Deku sees the empty beach, because remember, zombies don't like water, so they're not going to be on the beach. And he sees that Florida is like completely destroyed, basically. And it's just all empty and super quiet. And it's getting dark now as Deku gets off the boat, puts the tarp over it, and lets the two little kids sleep. He believes they'll be safe since zombies dislike the water, so he lets them sleep in the lifeboat as he goes out and explore and basically making sure no zombies come near them. As Deku, he finds a gun shop, like, and he raids it. Of course, he gets like some bulletproof armor, gets a silenced rifle, gets a few pistols, he just loading up on weapons right now, man, and a whole array of combat knives. Cause yeah, Deku, he ain't have any of his weapons. All he had was a regular old revolver in his luggage that is at the bottom of the sea. So he ain't getting that back. And while Deku is raiding this gun shop, he hears a firework go off in the distance. As Deku is alerted by this, he decides to go get a closer look to see why there's fireworks going off. As after the first firework went off, another one went off, and then a whole bunch went off, and then there's just a big explosion of fireworks, big puffs of smoke, and Deku, thinking that someone's in trouble, he gets an even closer look and gets a little too close. And he's at a shipyard now with a bunch of crates as he's wondering why there's fireworks going off in this location. As he then turns the corner of one of the crates and he trips on a tripwire. And he catches himself in like a push up position as he just sees a firework flying straight to his face. As he then just jumps, still in that push up position. And as the firework just flies right past him, or right under him, I should say, and it explodes into a crate as it was like a tower of crates behind him, and the crates are now falling, and Deku, he has to dodge them now. As these are really elaborate traps Deku is just tripping into, and he's barely dodging them until suddenly a hooded figure jumps down from one of the crates and grabs onto his arm and starts pulling him in a certain direction. As they go behind a few crates, as this person is signing him to shush, just like have their finger over their mouth, as a bunch of zombies just go running past where they were just standing. And they just wait there for a minute. And they having this silent conversation I don't want to go into detail about. But basically, this person is telling Deku to follow them. And Deku's like, I can't leave the kids behind. As the person just sighs and was like, okay, meet me here at this location. There's someone I need you. There's someone I want you to meet. As that happens, and this person basically leads Deku out of the shipyard away from the zombies, and they tell him where to meet in like a few hours or so. But before that meeting happens, let's go to UA, shall we? So the the people, let's go to the people on the roof, shall we? The survivors that were in the school with the big three, and the recommendation test students, as they're just chowing down on some mushroom stew. You know, 'cause the mushroom girl just grows mushrooms out of wherever she wants, even in someone's throat. She could basically just kill them by stuffing some mushrooms down their throat as they just choke to death. But sorry about that. As everyone's just chowing down on some mushroom stew, as Momo creates the pots and pans and the bowls and spoons, and Todoroki with his fire and ice, and put them together, you got water. And yeah, that everyone's just chowing down on some mushroom stew. While they're chowing down, the barred door of the roof starts banging, and the doorknob is like twisting and it's banging, and everyone is startled, thinking, did zombies just learn how to open doors? As everyone just puts down their bows and gets into a fighting position, waiting for whatever's behind that door to come out. As suddenly the door just burst open, and who would it be but All Might bursting through the door like a hero? I guess. Do heroes even still exist? But yeah. So the teachers of UA are there now, and everyone's like, "Yay, we're saved!" And Momo's like, "Wait a minute. What took y'all a whole week to get here and save us?" As Midnight is like, "Yeah, it took longer than we thought it would." And everyone's like, "What took longer than you thought?" As the teachers start explaining, "Do you guys not see the giant concrete wall all around us?" As everyone just stops and looks around, and they see these big concrete walls surrounding the entirety of UA. UA is not a big place, and everyone's like wondering, when did these walls just appear? And the teachers are basically just explaining that they had to protect cementos and build up some concrete walls, and it took longer than they thought it would. And they're explaining how they lost a few teachers. Ooh. The recovery girl, dead. Lunch rush, dead. And hold on, I forgot the name of this other person. Hold on. Uh, it's just those two, I guess. Yeah, cause President Mike, he's in the area with Bakugo, ain't it? Yeah, so it's just those two, Recovery Girl and Lunch Rush. They dead. Um, and of course some of the nah, just those two. So yeah, nobody with the healing quirk and no lunch. Okay, so where was I? Right, the teachers explaining that they have a wall now, so like they should get rid of all the zombies, so like this place can be protected again. So like takes them uh, about a day to get rid of all the zombies. As of course the teachers had help of the students that were on the roof, so like yeah, and then they decide to check out the cities that these Hero Corps students were in. As first, they see that Bakugo City is like booming. They like cleared out an entire building and made a farm on it, and they're like growing carrots and wheat, and like, and there's someone with like a speed growth quirk, so like it's growing like 10 times faster. So that's how they found food, just planted, and have this person with a speed growth quirk just make it grow faster. Bam. It's kind of a useless quirk against robots. That's probably why they're not in UA. So like, what you gonna do against robots? Just make them faster? Yeah, that's how you die. Unless you can slow them down, which I don't think he can do. So he or she, I don't know. I'm not gonna name this person. Just yeah, it's a pretty good quirk though. If like that could be used to as a replacement for Recovery Girl. Now that I'm thinking about it. So, but that's not the point right now. Um, yeah, what was I going on? They they opened the doors to that area, and they're like, "You people can come out now. It's safe. UA is now safe." As Bakugo just lets out a big explosion and shouting, "Hell yeah!" Like, we survived the zombie apocalypse. But not really, it's just they survived a week. And you go, every other area is pretty much the same, but different at the same time. Until we get to the one Shinso was in. As you just see a lot of destruction, buildings on fire, there's dead bodies everywhere, and there's only like a few people alive in there, but you can't see them. They're all hiding and making sure they're not seen, because they're clearly afraid of something. You just don't know yet. So let's cut back a few hours, shall we? As to what actually happened in that area. Yes, this happened a few hours ago before the teachers got there. They're just a bit too late, I guess. Yeah, a bit too late. Not a bit, a lot of too late. So like, and this involves Shigaraki and Kirigiri, as they were watching Shinso just throw people over the wall, and they thought it'd be a good idea to try and recruit him to be a villain. Because, I mean, he's already acting like when he's killing his fellow classmates, or, well, not fellow classmates, but, testees? The people he was taking a test with. As Shinso had them all brainwashed, remember? Except Invisible Girl, who escaped and is with Bakugo now. Well, with his group. She's not with Bakugo. Unless y'all want her to be with Bakugo. I mean, I've got no problem with that. But um Shigaraki sees Shinso being a villain, and he goes up to Shinso and tries to recruit him. But what Shinso does is brainwash Shigaraki. And Shigaraki is brainwashed, but then Kirigiri comes along and undoes the brainwashing by, I don't know, smacking the back of his head. that'll work, right? Just a little pain to get you out of brainwashing. Is that just made Shigaraki mad. And he brings out like 20 no moves, and they freaking wreck that city, bruh. And Shinzo, dead. A lot of the students there are dead. And like, no moves are just like destroying buildings left and right and just killing dang near everybody up in there. Is Shigaraki satisfied with his work? Leaves and just leaves all the bodies and all the destruction and everything there. Is who did I say was in that area? Froppy, Mina, some other people. Yeah, those the only two that were in 1A that survived. So who else I say was in there are dead. So like Froppy and Mina, they're alive. They got lucky. So yeah, I just did a terrible thing. I just I just killed a bunch of students. But yeah, that happened. So fast forward to the present. The heroes are there and they see all the dead bodies and they're wondering what happened as Froppy sees All Might, and I'll say Froppy and Mina are hiding together and they come out of hiding and just slowly walk up to the heroes and they explain what happened is they only remember what happened after Shinzo died. They just remember waking up to a bloodbath and they just decide to run and hide because they're not gonna try and fight what's killing everybody. So like, woo! Yeah. So other than that, UA is a safe haven. As the heroes start cleaning up that city, that miniature city. But then they just stop saying it's too much to do and they just shut the door on that city, never to open it again. As there's still some students in there they just don't know about, but yeah, they're going to be trapped in there forever unless they make a ladder and get out. Like, well, that's on them. They're not important right now. What am I doing? So basically, the everyone's in the school of UA is they're going over what they've been through, all the hardships they had to go over. And like, no one had to fight a zombie except the students that were on the roof that helped clear them out. Momo making swords and knives for everyone, and they just go slashing. And yep. And let's get back to Deku, shall we? as Deku gets back to his lifeboat, as Koda and Eri are awake, wondering where did Deku go, and did he just leave them there to die? As they're just like silently crying, wondering what should they do. Should they just stay there and wait? But what if he doesn't come back? But like, uh, scared kids can be a hassle, right? As Deku finally gets back, and they just start crying and hug him. As Deku's just saying he's sorry he left them, but he had something to do. As he just has a bag on his back, and he's like, "Come, we gotta go. Let's go. There's some survivors that are going to give us shelter." And Deku goes back to the shipyard, and he's just holding Koda and Eri's hand as they walk through the shipyard. And it's pretty dark, so the zombies can't really see them, and they're staying in the shadows. And Deku was told to go to this purple crate, as it's the only purple crate there. So, like, he goes to a purple crate. As when he tries to knock on it, his hand just phases through it, as it's just a hologram of a crate. And Deku just goes through it, and he sees a manhole cover on the ground with a note on it that says, "Come on down." And he does. He opens up the manhole cover and he goes down it. As when he closes the manhole cover up, he can hear a loud wiring noise. It's like buzzing electricity, because that crate they just went through wasn't a hologram. It is a defense thing made of electricity to zap zombies. As the person that invited Deku over just turned it off, basically, so that he can get in. So, like, really advanced tech, I might say. And it just looks like a purple crate, so, like, it just blends in. So, yeah, they make their way down and they just see this bright white light. And they just see a big white room full of all this equipment and technology and all this sciencey stuff. As he sees quite a few interesting figures. As one of them with red hair introduces herself as Ruby, and one with green hair introduces herself as Emerald, and one with blue hair says her name's Sapphire, and another one with a bit of a lighter blue hair with a bit of white in it introduces herself as Diamond, and one with white hair introduces herself as Pearl. If you can't see where I'm going with this, there's just a lot of gems basically. Yeah, just a bunch of gems that came to life, as it's someone's quirk that made them come to life. And I'll get to this person in just a second. It's this person with bright blue hair, with a bandana on and goggles on her head, and a utility belt around their waist with lots of tools and stuff in it. And she's wearing a tank top and cargo pants and some big old boots. And yeah, that's what she looks like. As she goes to shake Deku's hand and is like, "Hi, people call me Jules." If you can't tell why. But Deku's like, "You make these jewels come to life?" And she's like, "Yes, that is my quirk after all. I can make any inanimate object come to life. I can even shape them to have a body so they can move around and whatnot." As she's a real technical nerd or geek, whatever you want to call it. And she's a sciencey person. As when Deku walked in the room, she was looking through a magnifying glass, or not a magnifying, like um, yeah, magnifying glass. God, what are they called actually? Um, the thing you use to look at blood samples, or whatever. I forgot what it's called. Jesus. Whatever. As she tells Deku that she thinks she might have found a cure, but she can't be sure because she hasn't tested it yet. As Deku is saying, "Well, test it on me. I'll do it." And she's like, "No, this could kill you. And this is not why I brought you here. I, I brought you here because I thought you might help me with something else." And he's like, "Okay, and what is that?" And she just points to Eri. Yes. She has like a little gadget on her eye, and it's just telling her everyone's quirks and abilities. And she just looks straight at Eri and she sees that she has a rewind quirk, and she's like, "Now that's perfect." Is she wants to do some tests with Eri, but Deku's like, "You can't do that to a kid. I mean, look at her. She's been through enough already." And she's just going like, "Well, okay." But anyways, that's not exactly what I needed your help on. What I needed your help on was, would you be willing to escort me to Japan? And he's like, "Seriously? Look, I can do that, but we're not going to Japan right now. We're trying to get to California." And she's like, "What on earth for? Don't you know that place been destroyed a long time ago?" And he's like, "What?" And she's like, yeah, that place was one of the places that got hit first. And he's like, impossible, Japan got hit first. And she's like, hmm, well, what if they got hit at the same time? And Deku's like, well, I guess that could be possible, but how? And do you know if there's any survivors there? We we still we still might be a chance that someone's alive there. And she's like, well, of course everyone's gonna be alive somewhere. I mean, look at me. There's zombies everywhere, and I'm alive. It's no big problem staying alive. You just gotta avoid the danger. And he's like, yeah, I guess you're right. So there's a chance my dad could still be alive. As he's just more determined than ever because, again, his dad is ex-military, so he he's gotta have a base somewhere, right? Just gotta find it, right? Right? That's how this works, right? Okay. As Deku's like, if I were to escort you there anyway, how would we get there? As she's like, oh, my lab here, it's mobile, so we can just drive there. And it's all terrain, so. And he's like, what? Oh, yeah, can't you tell this is a submarine? As Deku's like, that would explain the ladder down to get down here. But how'd you get it in the ground? He's wondering. And she's so like, details, details. Come on, let's go. And if you really want, I can take you to California first, but let's go. As that happened. And I'm gonna leave it off there. Tell me what you guys think, and yeah, let me know what you guys would want. Or if this person would be a better ship or not. Let me know. Because I was not thinking that until just now. I'll see you guys later. Bye.